Good afternoon, everyone. If you guys know who I am, my name is Chris. I am here to talk to you guys about Americans not caring as much about work, and it isn't just Gen Z. Now, to keep it really frank and straightforward, I think I could just go ahead and tell you what this article about. I haven't read it, but I'm going to read it with you. Got a lot of people. They've been working their whole life. They got ahead. They try to teach the same thing to their children. And, well, a lot of those rules, they just don't work anymore. And this article will most likely explain why. So let us get straight into this amazing article. By outward appearances, the labor market today looks much as it did before the pandemic. The unemployment rate is just as low, the share of adults in the labor force is just as high, and wages are growing at roughly the same pace after inflation. But beneath the surface, the nature of labor has changed profoundly. Career and work aren't nearly as central to the lives of Americans. They want more time for their families and themselves and more flexibility about when, where, and how they work. The impact of this change can already be seen in both individual companies and the broader economy. It has led to a persistent shortage of workers, especially in jobs that seem less desirable because, for example, they require in-person work or fixed hours. That in turn has altered the bargaining position of employers and employees, forcing employers to adapt not just by paying more, but giving priority to quality of life and job offers. Let me explain to you guys something real quick, okay? Just from reading these couple paragraphs, right? They're already setting the tone that the reason why people don't want to, work is because, well, it's in person or that is fixed hours. That is incorrect. Okay. The reason why most people don't want to work is merely because of the pay. If you told me right now that I could make $300 an hour and I work, let's say, 30 hours at some sort of fast food restaurant a week, I'm taking that job. Even if it's not fixed. Let's use an example for a fixed job, okay? 40 hours working administrative in person at an office, that's about like 30 minutes to an hour away from my house. That's a good deal. No one's turned that down. But here, just from this article, they're trying to tell you that the problem is that people are, trying to get away from fixed hours or in-person work. Incorrect. Fast food, retail, that's in person, okay? People got to take those jobs. They're less desirable because it doesn't empower people. Now, to be sure, some of these changes arise from an exceptionally tight labor market. If unemployment rises, some of employees' newfound leverage may evaporate. We're in the marketplace of competition. This market is geared towards the fact that employees are to compete with one another and then go under a business. But the problem with the marketplace is that employers are also competing against employees. So let me repeat this again. Employers are also competing against employees and not just simply employers. So let me give you an example, right? If I'm an employer, my main goal is to make as much money as I possibly can. One of those ways of making as much money as I can is not paying as much for labor. Because why? Because at the end of the day, and this is just the truth of the matter, and artificial intelligence has shown that today, labor is a cost. Let me repeat that again. Labor is a cost. So this idea that, well, the problem with you in life is that you're not, working hard enough, being an employee and getting a job, yada yada, this, that, and third. The problem is that mere position is a net negative to the employer. If the employer could figure out how to get rid of your job and make a profit even more, then they will do it. Simple as that. Okay? It's a trade-off. Now, here's the deal. Okay? A lot of employers don't know how to handle this new marketplace because, quite frankly, similar to how American employees have it, I should say, somewhat advantageous for them, America, because it supports businesses, have also spoiled businesses because of that. Now let's continue reading. The pandemic's impact. Like the wars that previous generations lived through, the pandemic was a milestone in the evolution of the workplace, shaping both the lives and livelihoods of today's generation. First, COVID-19 affected the ability of millions to work by killing or sickening them or forcing them out of the labor force to avoid the virus or care for family members. Second, it shifted tens of millions of workers from physical to virtual workplaces. Some felt free and loved it. Some felt isolated and hated it. Some felt both. Either way, the effect was to weaken the hold jobs held on their psyches. In 2017, 24% of respondents to a Pew survey said their job or occupation was very important to their identity. In 2021, just 17% did. Later surveys corroborate this finding. Let me explain something to you. Okay. I don't care what job I have. My job isn't my identity. It may be a part of my identity, but it's not. I don't believe in dream jobs. Dream jobs to me is disempowering. Because I would never tell a person that they shouldn't get a dream job because that's going to empower you. I will never say that. I will instead say that you should have or gear yourself towards a profession that you can make a living from by yourself. And when I say make a living from by yourself, I mean starting your own business, etc. Because the highest level of professionalism is business, and particularly inside the private marketplace. But I continue on. It isn't that people hate their jobs or bosses. Overall job satisfaction remains pretty high. It's just that other things are more important, which manifests itself in a number of ways. Workers have become more willing to take vacation days they are owed, a sick day when they are sick, a mental health day when they are stressed, and all the parental leave their employers offer. Popular expressions like quiet quitting or work your wage capture these new attitudes, often directed at Generation Z, those born between the late 1990s and early 2010s. They're really annoying, especially in the workplace. Actress Jodie Foster told The Guardian, they're like, nah, I'm not feeling it today. I'm going to come in at 10:30 a.m. This isn't really fair. Oldsters started complaining about entitled, unserious youth with Aristotle and haven't let up since. So once again, since Aristotle, people have been complaining about young folks. This is like part of the human spirit, just complaining about young people and what they do. That's just the fact of the matter. Okay. For another, Gen Z faces burdens their parents never did, such as the hassles of COVID. Many a young parent has been forced to stay home with a feverish toddler because of zero tolerance policies at schools and daycare. More important, this trend is hardly restricted to the young. John Fetterman, age 54, scandalized the world's greatest deliberative body by showing up in hoodie and shorts, who is working less. How should I say this? I think people need to understand that the very nature of work has changed, because older folks, and this isn't to disparage people who are my, elders or my olders, as I like to say, but many of them have what I like to call a participatory work ethic. And what I mean by that is that they can only work in the fact that someone gives them a position, i.e. a job. And the problem is that a lot of these employees think that's what real work is. That's not what real work is. Okay. And we're going to talk about professionalism at the highest level. Why? Because they're not going above and beyond to take care of all the tasks and responsibilities that are needed to come and do just those things. Okay. So they don't want to do sales. They don't want to do marketing. They don't want to do networking. They just want to stay in their own little silos and, well, just do that. So that's all I have to say in regards to this article. That's just my own personal commentary. If you like the video, just leave a like and comment. And that's all. Have a nice day. Bye.